it's going to be a little cottage on a hill. And it's going to have lots and lots of green around it. It's just this nice little cottage on the hill. But what's going to be really interesting is the foreground.
Okay.
I have a lot of folks saying I have trouble with foregrounds.
Yeah, I know.
Do you too?
Dave Weissman used to tell me that.
Did he?
Paint your foreground like you know your cottage.
Anyway, I'm going to put the little cottage just in the top left.
Right.
It's going to be in this little dominant
Also, you're going to use your pencil.
Well, just to do the cottage.
Okay.
Just a little drawing here of this little cottage.
Is this your favorite pencil or is this your carpenter?
Well, this is not my favorite pencil, but it's all right. It's 2B. Anything above like an 8, this HB, which is hard and soft. But then this is a 2B. I like probably, I'm out of them, but I want to get a one that's maybe a 3B, 4B, whatever. Right. I like a soft pencil, actually. So here I'm going to put this little cottage in here. When I'm drawing, I look for familiar shapes. That's a triangle.
Yep.
And then I've got this little line that's going down here.
All right.
And then this is going to be it's up in the front and down the back. So I'm just going to do a little bit like something like that. Now I'm not going to finish here because I'm going to put some trees in there.
Right.
And that's going to come down. But I don't need to draw them. I just need to see that where they're going to go. And then just in here I'm going to put, there's going to have this little side porch. Some of these little farmhouses do.
Oh yeah.
But what I've done is it's not going to be at the end of the roof. It's going to be sort of about a third of the way up, and then it's going to be about a third of the way under it, because that is just good composition.
All right.
Okay, and then that's going to end up just like this. Now I'm not putting windows in it because I can paint those quickly.
Okay.
It's going to have a chimney, just in case it gets cold. And this one is going to have a chimney, but it has to be the same height, because it has to be higher than that, or as high as that. Otherwise, I heard that from somebody who builds houses. Oops, somebody's calling me. All right, now that's all I really want to do. Now the other thing, now that I've got that in there, that's just the little form of the house up there.
Yep.
And then I'm going to wet all around it, just all around in here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put a little bit of a sky in it and some trees and all that kind of wonderful stuff.
So while you're wetting, I'm going to tell you about chimneys. It's funny. You keep working.
Okay.
It's funny what comes to your mind when you hear words.
Yes.
Like when you said chimney.
Yes.
First thing that came to my mind, you won't believe this.
I will. Just
I was
try
13
me.
and I still believed it was Santa Claus. We used to get so much stuff. Dad was big on Christmas. And I remember, and my mother would never lie, right? And so I said, Mom, how Santa Claus can't get down our chimney. We got a stove. How do you get through the pipe?
Yeah.
You know,
What did you say?
Oh, he'll get in. Don't worry, he'll get in. And so...
I love that.
And so, you know what? We were out playing in the barn in the summer, a whole gang of them, and I was 13. And we were exhausted from playing hide and seek and tag, running up and down the hay mows and stuff. Keep painting.
Okay.
You're just wetting.
All right, just wetting. Now, I'm just going to, I have to interrupt you,
Okay,
Ivan.
all right.
I know that it's just...
No, that's good.
Is that all right if I interrupt?
Yes,
Okay.
you interrupt.
So what I'm going to do is put a little cobalt there.
I like
Isn't that
sky.
nice?
Yeah, I'm glad you're putting sky in.
Oh, yeah. I know. You get...
I like sky.
I know you
Blue
do.
sky.
I know you do.
So anyway, while you're doing that, back to the...
Yeah. Back to
They mentioned about Christmas, and I said, I'm getting this and this from Santa Claus. And they all laughed. I said, there's no Santa Claus. I said, sure there is. No, that's Mom and Dad. I said, Dad could never afford the stuff we get. I think they wouldn't ask your mother.
I'm going to have to interrupt you for a moment because there's something very important coming here.
Okay.
I'm going to put these trees in, but I'm going to take some of the water off. These are the background trees.
All right.
And so they're quite light. I'm actually using the cobalt blue. It's something I rarely do. I always use gamboge and Prussian blue, but I'm just putting these just in here. This is this background, and that'll, in watercolor, it lightens. And I'm pushing that into the trees, or I'm sorry, into the sky. Yes.
Yeah, that's what one thing is, and they think, oh, when I put it on, it's dark, but when it dries, it's so much lighter.
It's so much lighter, isn't it?
Yeah. You gotta remember that.
You paint a little bit stronger than I do. Must be a guy thing.
I don't know.
All right, so I'm just going to pull that down there. There's lots of things I want to talk about here. Is when I come to the edge of a building like this.
Yes.
I like to make a really, really sharp, I call it a defining line. Like I'm using a shape, but I'm going to use this shape to define something. All right, now here comes that magical stuff. I'm going to just switch brushes here for a moment. I'm going to go into my round brush, which is over yonder. take the excess water off, and I'm going to increase the pigment now and take less water off, and then I'm going to get this wonderful edge. So here I go with my Prussian blue, New Gamboge. So this is going to be quite a strong. You see the difference there?
Yeah.
We've got this. So I'm upping the ante.
This is skim milk.
This is almost whipped cream. You love that, don't you? You really love honey. Now, okay. Now, what I want to say right here, I'm using this as a defining line, and I do outline.
Look at that.
I outline, this is the other thing I want to say. We often think that we have to paint fast, if you're going to paint in watercolor, to paint loosely.
Some things you don't have to.
But you know what? You don't. You don't have to paint fast. You just have to paint fairly accurately, really.
Especially on the edges.
Yeah, well, what I'm doing here is I'm using this as a defining edge. You see what's happening?
The trees are just growing.
I know they are. They really are. And so what I'm going to do here now with this, I'm taking some New Gamboge.
All right.
Now what you're going to see here is I'm going to shoot that into the top of
Oh,
this.
yeah, look at that.
So that...
Look at those trees. That's almost beginning of fall.
Yeah, well, do you know what's happening? Do you know what it is, Ivan? I have my...
No, what is it?
It's the beginning of fall. Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, I know that was a big
While you're
shock
still
to you.
doing that, I'm going back to my mother.
Oh, okay.
So they said, you go in and ask Mom. So and then she said, I think you're old enough. No.
Did you really believe in Santa Claus?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
We got so much stuff. I said, Mom, Dad could never afford what we get.
Aw.
I mean,
it's a
we
beautiful
gotta,
story.
Yeah, well,
That really is a beautiful story.
And I used to go to my friends, and I thought they must be pretty bad because they didn't get very much.
Isn't that a hoot?
It's sad.
I know. Now look what I'm doing here.
I know. All right.
Okay, just try to behave yourself.
All right. That's hard.
I know it is. So what I'm doing into this wet area...
You're just dead.
Really, I am, but I'm thinking trees. Oh, yes, I'm thinking trees. Now that's going to go over here. Now over here, I'm going to just take a little less.
You know, you got me really curious.
I do.
Yes.
Aw.
You had...
Tell me about that.
Well, I don't understand it.
Don't you?
No, because you are using the same color, and you clean your brush out like now. You clean your brush out, and then you went. Now I understand when you're
softening an edge.
Yeah, but when you're.
But you just don't understand everything. It's all right, Ivan. But if you believed in Santa Claus to the 13th, you trust me.
Okay.
It's just such a cleaning your brush off. It's such an important stroke.
All right.
Yeah, it really is. And down in here, what I want to do is I want to connect the dots here with a little bit. See how it's uneven?
Yes.
I like unevenness because nature is like that. Now I'm going to take my brush, clean it off, take off the excess. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, I understand that.
All right. Now I'm going to go to
Because you're
raw
changing
sienna.
color.
Yeah, I'm changing color, so I'm
That
going to do that.
understand,
Now,
but
see that consistency? I'm a real pickle about consistency. I really get into it. Yeah. So try to just stay with me. All right, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this in. Broken lines are more interesting than a straight one.
This must be a field.
Well, it kind of isn't just in the back there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush, clean it off, take off the
now
excess
that
water.
I understand.
Good.
It's just that when you're using the same color, you clean it up.
The
I know
brush.
that.
Probably, you know what it is?
Habit.
Probably habit.
Yeah.
It's probably habit there. All right, so not what I'm going to do. Now, this is how I feel. I want to work over here.
All right.
And that's fine. And I'm going to have to leave this. So I soften my edge so I can come back to it without having a problem.
Yeah,
If
you're
it's
into
not-
dry paper now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's kind of dry paper. I just wet this because I wanted to get the sky and I wanted to get the whoops, I moved.
No,
that.
that's okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do the house actually last. Now
Last?
going to do the house.
Well, I guess
last.
you have to have a place to put it.
Yeah, well, you kind of do.
No land, no trees.
No,
you
yeah.
couldn't do a house.
No, you couldn't do the house. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my 1/2-inch brush because I've got a fair amount of mileage to do here.
All right.
Now, this is early on. There's going to be more darks and things like that. This will be manipulated. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this lovely little green combination with a little bit of Prussian blue, maybe a little bit of cobalt in here, like just to do this. And I want you to notice how wet
Yeah, this
I'm
is
doing
skim
this.
milk.
This is skim milk almost to 2%.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because what I'm going to do, I want this to be wet, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge it, believe it or not, with some red. They're going to be little red roses up there.
Right.
Now, if you put green and red together, you're going to get burnt sienna. Yeah. You know, it's going to be burnt sienna. It's going to be kind of muddy looking. But if you do it the way I'm going to do it, it's going to hold its edges, which is what I want to show you. This is what I teach, and I'm always teaching this stuff. Now, see how nice and wet this is. I'm going to leave some little white patches.
Yes.
Got that?
Yeah.
Are you with me, Ivan?
I am.
Oh, I love that when you're like that. Right.
You're talking about edges.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, right. Okay.
You know what else came to mind when you tell it? It's funny how the mind works.
Oh, is it? Yeah, tell me about it right now.
Mine's real funny.
I know it is.
But when you said edges, you know what came to my mind?
Tell me.
You remember the moron jokes?
Oh. Do you remember the knock-knock jokes, too?
Oh, yeah, but the morons are older.
Oh, yeah, they are. Now, okay, before you go on with that, because this is almost as important as morons.
Okay.
What I'm going to do now, see those little white spots in
Yes,
there?
yes.
I'm going to go in with my permanent rose, because that's what permanent rose, because I'm going to do roses. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Permanent rose.
Permanent rose, yes, not doing geraniums.
Okay.
I'm doing permanent roses. But I'm doing, look at this, see that?
Yeah.
We're up there, whipping cream.
Whipping cream.
Yogurt, all right, but that's my last offer.
Yogurt.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but if I do this,
Do you have frozen?
It's going to bleed a bit.
Yeah.
But it's still going to hold the edges. In fact, it's almost not bleeding enough.
Well, you can always wet it.
I am. I'm going to do exactly that. So
Right.
there's the little rose bushes.
Okay.
Now what I'm going to do is take my brush clean. I've taken
Now
the
that-
excess
yeah,
water.
yeah.
Is that okay? Right. So here I'm going to do
yeah.
this.
Yeah, okay.
If you don't think this is a bag of toys,
Oh, that's a new one.
what, a bag of toys?
Where'd you come up with that?
Oh, a friend of mine used to say that all the time. I always thought, well, how clever. Now, see the little roses going. Now, well, there's going to be some darks in there. So now I'm going to increase the pigment here. Back to Prussian and Gamboge. And I put them down side by side. Just got a little bit of water there. A little bit of excess water off here. Now, I want to do, the light is coming from, this direction. So I'm going to put, see how it's bleeding in that?
Yeah.
Then that's kind of working nicely. And then just in here. So the value of that red is quite strong. But I want them just, those little roses are just suggested. I don't know about you, but if I've looked at these wild rose bushes,
Oh, yeah.
they're not inundated with,
No.
you know what I mean? So isn't that nice look?
Mm.
So I'm just sneaking around there. This is not too wet, so I'm not going to lose all that. I'm even leaving a little bit of the white. So then I go down here.
Yeah,
a little
there's
bit
something
more.
about little whites.
Oh, look, whites. There's I forget the name of the artist, but he would say that the whites were your diamonds. And the chroma colors were your jewels. I like that term. I wish I'd coined it
Can I tell you
myself.
about the moron now?
Oh yes. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, you know.
Sorry, folks.
You know. Well, I'm making this Canadian.
Oh, okay.
You know, there was a big moron and a little moron on the CN Tower. The big moron fell off. Why didn't the little moron?
Oh, God. No.
Because he was a little more on.
Oh, no. I love it. Oh, I love it.
Now, do you know how old I was when that was around? Probably in my teens. And I never, when you said edges, that's what hit me. That silly moron joke. Because he was on the edge, right? But he was a little more on. He didn't fall off.
All right. Anyway,
Back to painting.
Yeah, back to painting. So now what's going to happen here, I'm left with this foreground. I've got this nice little area of bushes here. So that's working well. And so we're doing...
I'm surprised you didn't bleed that bottom
Well,
stuff
I've got
in.
this edge here, and this is fine, because I'm going to go darker anyway, so that's okay. So
Darker covers up lighter. Lighter doesn't cover
you're
up darker.
good. You really are good.
I've been around for a day or two.
Oh, you've been around for days. All right. I love your Santa Claus story, though. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do this middle ground, and then I'm going to put all these flowers and things like this, field flowers in
What
the back.
kind
And
of
I'm just going to
flowers?
leave. Then they're just, I don't know.
Wild stuff.
Could be wild stuff. It could be
Any
lupins.
lupins?
Yeah, it could be lupins. There's
All
a
right.
odd one of
People,
them there. And we've got more wild. We got stuff,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get on with the stuff.
Oh well, all right then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet a little bit. I'm going to wet this a little bit. So I'm going to have these little areas here to drip into. But I'm not wetting it, I'm just wetting it. That's a word, isn't it? Do you know what? Well, I was thinking about words. I was talking to my students yesterday, and I said, one of my favorite words, do you want to know one of my favorites?
Yes.
Whoops.
Whoops?
Whoops.
Wow.
I say that a lot. Whoops. All right, now back I go here.
I made a lot of whoopses in life.
No. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I like that.
Isn't that nice?
Mm.
Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to
Yummy.
leave this. This is going to be a little bit lighter over here. So then I'm going to increase the pigment. Back we go to our Prussian. Then we're going to put some of that in there.
See, folks, she just mucking
Oh,
around.
she's mucked. That's right. All right. So we've got that. Now what I want to do is just going to combine this up here. I'm not ready to do anything with that yet, so I'm just going to soften that until I'm ready to work on this, because then I'm going to do which is the point of interest, although there's going to be lots of interesting stuff in here. All right, now here we go. I'm going to go permanent red, permanent rose, a little bit of cobalt blue or ultramarine blue, doesn't really matter.
You must be going to do the flowers.
Do you think?
The growies.
This is true.
You remember Zoltan Szabo?
Yeah, well, I do. You and I did that workshop together.
Were you there?
I was indeed. So was Neil.
I don't remember that.
Oh,
You know what?
what?
It took me a year to get that out of my system. I was determined I wasn't going to let it influence me.
Why not?
My paintings were no good for a year. They weren't. I couldn't do. I don't know. And I said, I'm not going to make this. I'm not going to let this change me. I'm just going to learn.
Oh, I got a lot out of it.
Well,
I did.
I think I did too, but it took my paintings were no good.
Oh, he was probably one of the best ones.
Oh yeah, he was.
You know, he really wasn't good. In here, I'm going to take a little bit more.
Okay.
I love that if you put red and green down.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just going to work. So here we've got these little flowers. Wait till you see the connection that I'm going to make.
I don't see
here.
any lupins.
Well, they're early yet, dear. We're just.
So Neil went there too?
Mm-hmm. We both, yeah.
How come I can't remember?
Yeah,
that?
I remember him saying to.
Did you take the 2 weeks or the one?
I forget now, but I know that he looked at Neil's work and he said, "This boy's going far."
Did
Funny,
he?
yeah. And Neil, my son.
Oh,
people,
of course.
He makes a living doing painting.
Yeah. You know, he didn't like my paintings.
He didn't like
No,
your paintings. No
you
wonder you were
believe
hurt.
I remember.
I don't know if people have the right to say that.
Well, he didn't say that. He didn't come up and say it. He just insinuated it. Oh yeah,
Ivan.
you know how he critiqued everybody's work.
Yes, he did.
And he said, "Oh yes, and here's another one of Ivan's skies." Like it wasn't a compliment.
I'm throwing a little purple in here.
Yeah, like that. Well,
okay. You like that there?
Yeah.
Like that there? All right.
Yeah, didn't like my skies. I thought that was that's what I shined at.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little disconnecting. I'm going to take my flat brush again.
Yeah.
Back I go to my green.
And
Gamboge and Prussian. Take a little bit of that excess water off. I don't want it just
no wonder the
everywhere.
pigments don't
Now,
run out.
this is what I do with this brush. This is
Alright.
where, like, normally speaking, I could use this, or I can
Yeah.
use, this is like what I call the knife blade.
Yeah.
So I'm now going
Oh, look at that grass.
I'm just going to come right through it.
See, yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at it growing.
Need a little stronger here.
I went to, remember? I don't know if you ever knew Iris Quinn. She had the hall frame.
Who was it?
Iris Quinn.
No, I don't think I did know her, dear.
And I had a painting or two in there when I first started.
Uh-huh.
And she introduced me to this artist. His work was phenomenal. I don't get his name right, so I'll just say George, because I know that.
Okay.
She introduced me as the artist, and I'm thinking, oh no! Because these were some of my first watercolors.
Oh, yes.
And he had a painting there of a dog on the porch. It was a stone porch with marble pillars. You can see every hair.
Oh. I'm starting now to develop this. I'm going to get some darks in here, but I'm going to make sure those edges are integrated with what's. You see why I wasn't worried about that?
I see what you. Yeah.
You get that now?
Darker and darker.
Darker and darker. When you start getting these darks in here, they really come together. Now, I'm just not going to leave that arbitrarily doing. It's funny what little thing.
You say you are or not?
No, I'm not going to leave it just like that. That's just a little blob of green then. But what I'm going to do is just integrate that.
Okay.
Just going there.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go over here. Then I'm going to do a little, see when it's into that wet. I love those edges. Yes. Oh, I love those edges. I think they're so fun. So these are little bushes.
Yeah.
See, you have to come in this way if you're going to go up to the house.
Okay.
You know,
yes, you got to get to the house.
That's right. If you want to get to the house.
And I'm embarrassed. I said, why did Iris ever introduce me as the artist? Because these were my first watercolors, right? They weren't super duper or anything. And I'm like thinking, oh my. And he looks at them and he says, boy, I wish I could do skies like yours. Yeah. Like I nearly fell over. He said, I can't paint sky. And then I started looking at his work. He'd have a painting, no sky or 2 inches of sky.
Oh, interesting, Ivan.
Yeah, so there you go. And he was good.
I want you to see, I do this, and I do that. I do both. Like I do, it's kind of what like line and form, if you like. But I do these things here and just develop them over.
This is amazing.
Do you think?
You're so you paint so much different than I do.
Well, that's what makes it so much fun.
Because
I
just. You tickle the brush more.
Tickle. I do a lot of tickling.
Oh, that's what's the problem.
Yeah. So I do a lot of tickling.
I wonder I was getting this itches.
A few of these are going to be a bit stronger.
Now, what about that background down there?
Which?
You going to leave that?
Which dark one, dear?
Right there by your front of your brush.
This one here?
The yellow.
Well, that
there,
yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes those turn out to be great accidents. Sometimes they're a disaster.
Accident. What, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's intentional.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's intentional.
I see.
Oh, yeah. That? Oh,
that line.
Do it all the time.
I know.
All right.
Sometimes.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to develop this a little bit more. We're going to put lupins in, folks.
Oh,
just
we are going to get
kind of
some
little
lupins.
Yes. So I'm going to get my permanent rose, little cobalt here. The reason I'm using cobalt this morning is clean. The ultramarine probably isn't. So I'm just going to go in here and just do a few of this. Do a little.
You know the Americans love lupins. Don't they grow in the States?
Yeah, they do, in California very particularly. I remember them as a kid.
In California?
Mm-hmm.
You in California?
I lived in California.
Why did you come here?
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
What? Everybody else wants to go to California.
Well, my dad was born in Canada. He was born in Ontario. I was just a little girl when I was in California. I used to go to school there.
Wow.
Yeah.
What high school, elementary?
No, elementary school. It was a boarding school.
Oh, you were uppity.
Oh, I hated it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Why? Too many rules?
I didn't like being away from home.
Oh, whew.
I was so homesick.
Did you cry?
I did a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
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 I used to get so homesick. I was in Ontario for 9 years.
Oh,
I went back to school too. Oh yeah, it's got to have the leaves. And boy, in the spring, didn't I get homesick?
Cannabis, like this. What they
what?
Look. They look like cannabis, these leaves. Not that I know. I wouldn't know.
How would you know what they look
I know.
like?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything.
Tell me another one.
So now I'm going to just increase this.
That's looking more like you said you was going to.
Yeah, it's coming. This is like the foreground, but I don't have to overdo it. But I do have to bring some of this just down into here. Because it's a little bit top heavy.
Okay.
So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to do this. Just do a little bit of greenery. Take my brush, do that wonderful thing that I do, what I like doing. Some of this green I want to bring down a bit more. Down in here. Fill in the holes. do a bit more of this. It's kind of like doing a vase of flowers, really, except
Yeah.
you're doing it on landscape. I'm going to put a few little in here.
Oh, up there.
Yeah, these are like little rose bushes.
Do you ever use pastel?
I do. I use anything that works, really, and I don't like rules.
Ah,
I
me
don't
either.
Really, I don't like them. I don't really like to have them.
I bet you do like rules because you like breaking them.
Really, that's a good point. I do exactly what I do. Is I like that little area of light there. I'm gonna
Oh
leave it.
yeah, isn't it sometimes you get
glow.
these little
You do.
jewels.
Now that I didn't know. This I
That
did
you-
know. But I don't always know everything. I don't always know everything, Ivan. I know that comes as a shock to you. I know sometimes I have my little moments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get razzed by a certain individual that I'm very close. She says, "You think you know everything?" I said, "No." But some things I do.
Well, I have people that I know that really do. They really do know everything. And I'm thinking, oh, how wonderful. Imagine knowing everything. And they do. They, like they're absolute experts on everything. And I'm
right?
absolutely in awe of that. I don't have any problem or ego problems with that. I'm thinking, well, they really do know. I wish I did. I don't know everything. Oh, I got to do the house, don't I? All right. So what I'm going to do?
Say, well, you were going to tell me you were finished?
Well, not quite. I'm going to develop this now a little bit. We've got some values going on down here, and I'm liking it. We don't want the rose there. I don't want that rose there.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do is we've got a lot of chroma colors here. We've got first primary colors, secondary colors. So I'm going to do this house it's going to be quite bright, but the roofs themselves are kind of have a grayness to them, just because I want to offset it. So gray.
Wouldn't do to have a green roof.
It would not. It really wouldn't. Unless it was a turquoise or something. It would have to be such a different green. And that's just not going to work for my cottage. So I'm going to put a kind of a raw sienna and cobalt blue. And it's going to be like a grayish color. Like that.
All right. That's...
Like this. And then I might put a little bit of sand in that as well.
Is that a homogenized?
No, this is pretty much... Oh,
Skim, 2%?
You love that, don't you? You really do. This is going to be...
It's a new experience for me.
I know it is. That's that lovely gray.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
take that little excess water off here. I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to darken it slightly at the bottom. So I'm going in there with a little bit of blue here. I'm darkening it at the bottom.
All right.
If you darken things at the
You
bottom...
got a lot of water on there.
Yeah. It's going to float up to the top. And so it's going to be lighter at the top and darker at the bottom. That'll give the illusion that it's going up.
Okay.
All right? Is that okay with you,
That's
Evan?
okay.
All right, then. Now, that's because the shadow is on this side. This roof is going to be a bit lighter.
All right.
So I'm going to take a little bit of that raw sienna and just make that a little bit lighter. I'm going to darken the trees around it as well. Make a little bit more blue than
Make
that.
it sing.
I am.
Do you sing, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you want to hear me singing. I don't sing.
All right, now I'm going to do a little red chimney. I mean, it's corny, but it's true.
What's true?
The chimneys are red. They're really not that red. They couldn't be quite gray looking,
They're yeah.
So
Some of them are
we'll
black.
put it in because I want that red in that beautiful green. On the far side of it, I'm going to just take a little bit of burnt sienna because that's the shaded side of red.
All right. Why do some chimneys have a black rim around the top?
Do you think it's stylish?
No, I'm testing your skill.
I don't know.
Loyalists.
Oh,
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
The loyalists put a black rim around their chimney
Why?
to let people know they were loyalists.
Oh, that's nice.
You know the Chittick home? You know Glen Margaret?
Yeah?
You know where Laurie Fraser used to be, the store?
Yes.
All right, just past that.
This is ultramarine blue, by the way, folks.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
that's okay.
All right, just past that on your right, there's
Yeah.
a nice little Cape Cod. Used to have a picket fence around it.
Yes.
On your right, just past what was Laurie Fraser's store,
Yeah.
and that's Chittick's. Actually, Mrs. Chittick
This
was
is-
second cousin to my father. Go on, talk about your painting.
Yeah, I'm talking about. See what I'm doing here? This is cobalt blue, and I'm just doing that for shadow
Oh,
on that
okay.
side.
I like that.
I do too. And underneath here, that's going to have an eave there, and that's going to have some shadow as well.
Yes, good to have
Isn't that
shadow
nice? You got to have
underneath.
shadow under there. I'm going to leave the house white. Is
You
that okay?
are?
Yes, I am.
No, I like yellow.
You're not going to have it.
All right.
No, not going to be. I don't want to destroy that.
Okay.
Now I'm going to do some windows. They do not have to be dark, but they are going to be a little bit
Well, they
defined.
have to be somewhat dark.
A little bit, not too, because the house is too far away, Ivan.
Okay.
See, when it's right up on the hill, you see.
All right.
All right. So here I'm going to do this. I don't want to get all schmucked up there. That's the technical term for it. And now all I'm doing is that.
Yeah.
And there's the window.
Look at that.
And then under here's the door. There's the door. And then I'm going to do that because it's got that little Xy thing.
Oh yeah.
And then what I'm doing here is this is the in between, believe it or not.
That's a picture window, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's a porch.
A porch. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm upside down.
Yes, you are, dear. That's right. So here we got the little steps
Okay.
that go down, and now we can do these little details around. So back I go to my greens.
Well, what I was telling you about that house, if you look in on the right, you'll see that there's a black rim around the trim. The chimney.
Okay. I will look next time
Loyalists.
when I go by. Oh, that's nice.
Yes, and Jean, or Mrs. Chittick, I think Jane, was second cousin to my father.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Fraser home.
Right.
The Frasers were loyalists.
Right.
That's better. I like that.
See, what I'm doing now, I'm just working around this little bit
You
of
can't
detail
cover up
here.
that path, though.
I don't think I'm going to, because that is not intentional. That just happened that way.
That was an accident?
Yep.
At least you admitted it.
Oh, yeah. I did, Ivan. I got, just put that in there just because I want that a little bit darker. I'm having a nice time, you know. I'm really enjoying this. But what I want to do is I want to show, I'm going to go darker in there. I'm going to pump that
All
right
right.
up there. Out with the Prussian. Out with the big guns.
You ever use black?
No.
You don't
Oh.
have a black?
Well, I do, but I don't use it.
What'd you buy it
No,
for?
yeah, I brought it for something. I think it was to make signs or something.
Oh.
So I stuck it in there, but no.
What
I
color
don't.
black? Kind of black?
Oh, it's black. It's black, and I make black. Now, if you really want a good black, burnt sienna and ultramarine blue is going to do it, and it's it's going to be a warm black.
Yeah.
Okay, in here,
I use lamp black.
do you?
Yeah.
Maybe use black, eh?
Oh.
I suppose you use Payne's gray as well.
No, I don't use that. I don't like it.
Aha.
Do you?
No. I don't use it. I don't badmouth it. See, now that's what I call a magic corner. See that magic corner? Let's put that in there.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, lobsters, I think.
Is it? What's your worst favorite food?
Eggplant liver.
And you said you didn't man mouth anything. I don't know how
don't
people
think
can eat liver. Ugh. Just the thought of it.
I know. I used to say that to the kids.
What?
Well, I used to say, be nice or you're going to get eggplant liver.
Oh!
Oh, dear.
Did they like it?
No.
Never tasted it.
No, never did, and I never did it, of course.
No.
But I used to make jokes.
Were you a good mom?
Oh, I don't know.
We always look back. You're a good grandmom.
Yeah, I don't know if I was when I was younger. You know, I did my best, I guess.
We all do.
I don't
But
yeah.
you know what?
What?
We've learned from bringing up our own kids, and then we have blasts with the grandkids.
Something about that, isn't there? Yeah. Okay, this is that's that little yellow line in there. I don't want that just quite that
What
obvious.
yellow line?
This. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in it, make it a little
That's-
bit more
that's
interesting.
yellow?
No, the line is yellow. So I'm putting a little bit more so it felt to me like it didn't
All right.
belong there. I know it.
Well, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
It just doesn't seem right sometimes.
No, I know. So,
But you covered up your past.
no, I'm going to put this. I thought I had yellow on it. I don't. It's not right. Just a little in there. Okay, let's see. What do we need now? Oh, I need some on this side. See, I've got it on one side, and if you have it on the right, you
Yes.
need it on the left.
Okay.
But cannot be the same size. So right in here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to go in here, make this into a little negative. You see that?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go up into here. And then I'm going to tie these two together.
You're nearly done.
You know, you're right. You really are right. Okay, there we have that. Take my brush, clean it off, take out the excess water. I'm going to just fuse that in with what's going on beside it, because I've got this, the always word, which is always about an edge.
Yeah.
One edge meeting another. The sky is actually meeting that.
Right.
And this is meeting that.
Mm-hmm.
This is meeting that. And they're saying, howdy. There we have it, Ivan.
All right. Now
Do you want me to
don't
sign
move
it,
that.
Ivan?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Now, I'm going to not forget this.
I'd
I'm
like
going to
to-
forget this, because please subscribe to our channel.
Okay, yes.
You know?
Yes,
Because
by
we
all
want you
means.
to. And because we're having so much fun
Yeah.
doing it.
That's right. And not only subscribe, tell all your friends.
Oh, please do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. Here it goes.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Ta-da! Drum roll.
This is the money worth.
Jayana,
Yeah.
Jacqulyn.
All right. Great, folks.
Thank you very much for dropping in. It was great to be with you again. And we will see you next week.
Yes, and we have some big surprises next week. You're going to do another scene.
I am. And I'm going to keep it a secret.
Okay.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.